You can give full sound. Om Sthapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharmasvarupine Avatara Varishtaya Ramakrishnaya te namaha. We shall chant one of the verses praising Shankaracharya. Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmat Acharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Now we shall continue to study the wonderful verse of Vivekachudamani written by Shankaracharya, whereby he is describing about one of the greatest treasures in spiritual life, that is Shraddha, faith, intense faith. So let us chant that 25th verse. Shastrasya Guruvakyasya Satya Buddhyavadaranam Sa Shraddha Kathitha Sadbihi Yaya Vastupalabdhaye. Shall we repeat it? Please repeat this verse after me. Shastrasya Guruvakyasya Shastrasya Guruvakyasya Satya Buddhyavadaranam Satya Buddhyavadaranam Sa Shraddha Kathitha Sadbihi Sa Shraddha Kathitha Sadbihi Yaya Vastupalabdhaye Yaya Vastupalabdhaye. Now the simple meaning given by the great Sringeri Shankaracharya Sri Sri Chandrasekhara Bharati Swamiji is ascertainment of the scriptures and the words of the Guru with conviction about their truth is called Shraddha by the good, and as that by which knowledge of reality is obtained. Ascertainment of the scriptures, that is Shastrasya, and the words of the Guru, Guruvakyasya, with conviction. Your conviction, when you get that conviction, then you start acting accordingly. About their truth is called Shraddha by the good. Sa Shraddha Katita Sadbihi, by the good, and as that by which knowledge of reality is obtained. The highest knowledge of the Parabrahman or God realization is obtained yaya vastupalabdhaye. So, in the ordinary mundane world, too, we can see in the absence of faith in the words of any apta, who are aptas, trustworthy person who has knowledge. For example, if you go on telling that I don't believe in the teacher or in the textbook given by the school or the college about biology, mathematics, and physics, chemistry, I'm going to find out myself everything from the root, whatever, how multiplication has happened, how division has happened, what is algebra, what is integration, what is calculus. Everything I'm going to find from the root myself and then understand it, find the truth and go forward. Then I think 100 lives may not be enough for you. So then you have to believe in the apta, trustworthy person who has knowledge already in that field. Then only you can go forward. If you tell that in chemistry, I'm not going to believe that atom structure is so. So it has a nucleus, it has the electrons going around the orbit around the nucleus. I don't believe in it. I have to see it myself. Then only I'm going to believe in it. I will start the experimentation, find out everything myself. Then you cannot even get knowledge in the external world to ordinary mundane world too. So you should believe, then act according to the trustworthy person who has already knowledge. He is called apta. So when that is so with reference to the objects of sense perception, ordinary world, then what needs to be said in the case of meaning of scriptures, Shastra, which is beyond sense perception? Here Shraddha is the supreme means to inquiry about which is supersensuous. So as Lord Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, Ashraddhadana Purusha Dharmasyasya Parantapa Aprapyamam Nivartante Mrityu Samsara Vartmani. So in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna, hey Parantapa, persons without Shraddha in this dharma, in the scriptures, in the righteousness, they go back along the road of death and samsara without attaining me. So it is only he who is Shanta, who has controlled his mind, Danta, Uparata, and Titikshu, that obtains conviction of a thing in the form of this is thus upon his having been taught by the Guru and the text of the Vedanta. Brahman alone is the reality. That is, God alone is the reality, all else is untrue. Brahma Satya Jagan Mithya. Jiva Brahmaiva Naparaha. So these are the words, the essence of Vedanta. So, Yaya Vastupalabdhaye. That is, you have to get the knowledge of Parabrahman or God. Now, there is a saying in Sanskrit, Yadi Shraddha Syatam Vidyaya Kim Prayojanam. Yadi Shraddha Nasyatam Vidyaya Kim Prayojanam. Suppose you have Shraddha, firm belief, you have started acting according to the words of the Guru and Shastra. Then what is the need of the education? Yadi Shraddha Syatam, you have already Shraddha, what is the need of education? Vidyaya Kim Prayojanam. Yadi Shraddha Nasyatam Vidyaya Kim Prayojanam. Suppose you have already Shraddha, what is the use of the learning? Suppose you don't have Shraddha, you don't get Shraddha, what is the use of learning, studying? So that means if these things are narrated in this fashion, meaning after getting education, learning, what is that you have to gain? Shraddha. But nowadays, after having the Western education, Macaulay's education, we are losing Shraddha. we are going backwards, then are we getting real education? So the aim of education is to bring Shraddha. So that is what that Sanskrit term is telling. Now, we have studied this particular verse past maybe 4 classes. We have taken so much of time on this. Why? Because this is a very, very great treasure which we have to develop in our life. So that's why we are taking so much of time. So I'll try to explain this wonderful verse, getting help from the words of Sri Ramakrishna. Because Sri Ramakrishna was a realized soul. He had realized not only the highest, but all the other aspect. That's why he was called Sarvadeva Devi Swarupa. What is the meaning of Sarvadeva Devi? Is he greater than all the gods? No. Whatever paths, whatever Shraddha, faith, whatever the ideals posed by different gods and goddesses, principles, everything he practiced in his life, made his own personality, his mind, as a laboratory and experimented it and got the result. He reached the highest in all the faiths. So that's why he knew every tidbits, the smallest thing of spiritual life. That's why his words carries weight. That's why we have to understand the scriptures and we have to understand the practice in the spiritual life through his words. Then we will get a better perspective. So let me take you through some of the teachings of Sri Ramakrishna, which are very helpful. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa in the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, page number 310, he tells, "It is written in the books of the Vaishnavas, God can be attained through faith alone. Reasoning pushes him far away. Faith alone." Then he gives the example of one great devotee who used to come to him, Krishna Kishora. He had a lot of faith. He had gone to Vrindavan. A low caste man was drawing the water. So he was drawing the water from the well. Then he wanted to drink the water. He told that man, "I am from the low caste and you are the Brahmin. How can you take water in my hands?" Then Krishna Kishore said to him, "Repeat the name of Lord Shiva." After the man had repeated the name of Shiva, Krishna Kishore unhesitatingly drank the water. How? Why? He had faith in the capacity, the strength of the name of God. Once you repeat the name of God, you are purified. Then no more caste, no more differentiation, you become pure. So that is what is told in the puja. When we are about to start the puja, we do the achmana in the beginning. So what is the mantra? We tell that Om Tadvishnoho Paramam Padam Sada Pashyanti Suryaha Divi Vachakshuratatam Om Apavitra Pavitro Va Sarva Avastha Gatopiva Yahasmaret Pundari Kaksham Sabahya Abhyantaraha Shuchihi. Apavitra Pavitrova. You may be pure, you may be impure. Sarva Avasthang Gataha Apiva. You may be whatever state you may be in. Whether you are in the waking state, whether you are in the dream state, whether you are in the deep sleep state, or in between, any kind of state, pure or impure or whatever your mind may be in. The moment you repeat the name of the Lord, the moment you remember God, who is having the eyes like that of the lotus, Yasmaret Pundari Kaksham, the moment you remember, the moment you repeat the name of the Lord, so Yahasmaret Pundarikaksham Sabahya Abhyantara Shuchihi. Immediately he becomes purified internally and externally. Not only mind, but also it purifies your body and everything, internally and externally, your atmosphere around you also get purified the moment you utter the name of the Lord, you remember Lord. So that is the mantra which we start with from in the puja, in the achmana. So what is the meaning of that? The moment you repeat the name of the Lord, you become pure. So here you see our great devotee Ramakrishna is mentioning Krishna Kishore had that faith in the name of the Lord. So repeat the name of Lord Shiva and give me the water. Then there will be no problem at all. Then the moment you repeat the name of the Lord, you have become the Brahmana. So I don't have any other objection. So he drank the water from that paraya. Unhesitatingly drank that water. He used to say, if a man chants the name of God, does he need to spend money anymore for the atonement of his sins? So the name of the Lord will do that. So that should be the faith in the words, in the name of the Lord, in the scriptures, in the word of the Guru, in the mantra of the Guru. So you should act accordingly. Then you have real faith. So I'll take you through another example story told by Sri Ramakrishna, that none of us believe in God. We tell that we are all believers in God. We have faith in God. But Ramakrishna tells none of us have. How can you prove it? Yes, Ramakrishna tells a story. What is that beautiful story? There was one valuable jar of gold, very big jar of gold with lot of diamonds and rubies and so many other costly stones, golden coins, full of treasure. And that room didn't have any windows, it didn't have any door, and it was not guarded. So this news got the ears of a thief. Now, the moment the thief comes to know about this jar of gold or whatever the precious stones unguarded, will you keep quiet? The whole day he will go on sketching. He goes on planning. So how to steal it? How to go there? What is the path? How shall I go? What are the things that I have to take to steal it? Should I take a horse? Should I take a carriage? What is the weight? What is the size of the jar? So he'll go on planning, perfect planning. And as soon as it becomes dark, when no people are around, will he keep quiet? First he starts planning, then will he keep quiet? He will immediately start acting. The moment it is dark, he goes on with all his implements, goes there, takes the jar of gold, then he steals it and takes away. Now, after telling this story, Ramakrishna asks all of us, we claim that we are all believers of God. We know God exists. We know that God is in our own heart. He is more precious than any other costly stones or precious stones in this world put together. All the precious stone put together is more costly than that. And that precious God is within our own heart and is everywhere. So the thief is better than us. The moment he knows that costly gold and precious stones are valuable, he doesn't keep quiet. First he plans and then steals it, takes it away. But we who claim that we are believers in God, we have faith in God, we have so-called belief in God, are we really having that? Are we having faith? Ramakrishna, that's why tells none of us have faith in God. We may just claim it in our words. We may tell, that's all. Nothing more than that. We really don't have faith. If we had faith in God, would we keep quiet? Are we better than that thief? The thief, when he comes to know the stones are valuable, he doesn't keep quiet. He acts, he plans, he takes it away, then enjoys that gold or that precious stones. When we know that God exists in our own heart, are we trying in any way to realize Him, to find that treasure more valuable than anything? Any costliest stone on this earth, the Lord is more valuable. Then do you feel that He is more valuable? Are we putting in any effort to find that or take it or realize God? Not at all. Then how can you claim that you have faith in God? So if you have faith in God, you have to act and realize Him, at least try to realize Him. Otherwise, your claim that you are a believer in God is sheer falsehood. So now, That is the story by which Ramakrishna tells. Now we got a little idea of what is Shraddha. We will go on, find out through the words of Ramakrishna the different aspects of Shraddha. Now, in page 337 in the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, Ramakrishna is telling, the Master glanced at Master Mahashay Mahendranath Gupta and said, one attains God when one feels yearning for Him, Vyakulata. An intense restlessness is needed. Through it, the whole mind goes to God. Now, Ramakrishna tells a story. A man had a daughter who became a widow when she was very young. Now she was a young girl, maybe of 6 or 7 years. In those days there was child marriage. Now husband died due to some reason. She became a child widow. She had never known her husband. She noticed the husbands of other girls and very innocently went to her father and asked the father one day, Father, where is my husband? Now the father replied to that girl, Govinda, that is Lord Krishna, is your husband. He will come to you if you call him. So this girl had so much of faith in the words of her father because she was young. She believed and started acting accordingly. At these words, that small girl went to her room, closed the door and cried to Govinda, saying, Oh Govinda, come to me, you are my husband. Show yourself to me, show yourself to me. Why don't you come? God could not resist that girl's piteous cry and appeared before her and acted as her husband all through. So you can see the faith. The moment her father told Govinda, Krishna is your husband, she didn't have any doubt. She didn't tell that, how can that be? I don't believe in it. So she started acting immediately at the words of the father. Likewise, if we have faith in the words of the scriptures, we have this faith in the words of our Guru and start acting, try to realize God, then we can get it. So this is one of the aspects has been shared by Ramakrishna here. Going forward, in the same book, in the same page, Ramakrishna is telling one must have childlike faith. Children, they have intense faith. They believe. No doubt at all. When the father or mother or anybody elders tell them, they have so much of faith. So one must have childlike faith and the intense yearning that a child feels to see its mother. So likewise, we should also have that intense faith to realize the words of the Guru and the scriptures. That yearning, Vyakulata, is like the red sky. You get that yearning only through faith. So that yearning is like the red sky in the east at dawn. After such a sky, the sun must rise. So the indication, the faith gives you yearning for God, Vyakulata. And Vyakulata is like that red sky in the east. That means sunrise is about to happen. That means God realization is about to happen to you. Immediately after that, yearning and faith, one can see God. So now, Ramakrishna gives us so many other examples by which we can understand faith. Ramakrishna is telling, let me tell you the story of a boy named Jatila. So this boy, small boy Jatila, used to walk to school through the woods, forest, for a long distance. So the journey frightened him. There were so many sounds of the wild beasts and so many other sounds which made him frightened. One day he told his mother, out of fear, Mother, I can't go to school. I'm afraid to go walk through the woods forest. Then the mother replied, My dear child, why should you be afraid? Call Madhusudana. So, who is Madhusudana, mother? The boy asked the mother, Who is Madhusudana? The mother told him, "He's your elder brother." So the boy believed, had faith 120% or 200%. The boy believed that Madhusudana, Lord Krishna, is my elder brother. Then, while he went in the forest to the school, when he found that the sound of the wild beasts and that other thing, eerie sounds coming in the woods or the forest, when he was frightened, he cried out, "Oh, brother Madhusudana!" But there was no response. He began to weep aloud. "Where are you, my brother? Oh, brother Madhusudana! Krishna, come to me. I am afraid." Then God could no longer stay away. He appeared before that boy and said, "Here I am, your brother Madhusudana." Lord Krishna stood in front of him. "Why are you so much frightened?" And so saying, he took the boy out of the woods to his school, and showed him the way to the school. When he took leave of that small boy, God Krishna, Lord Madhusudana, he told, "I will come whenever you call me. Do not be afraid." Then he would accompany him every day to the school and back to the house. So Ramakrishna, there is still that story continues, but he stops here and tells, one must have this faith of the child, this yearning. Then Ramakrishna goes to tell another story. There was one saintly person, a great devotee. He used to worship his family deity with food offerings. You know, that is the story of Namadeva, who was a great devotee of Lord Vithala, another name for Lord Krishna. You have this Pandharpur, now in the state of Maharashtra. So this Namadeva was sent one day. The father was a great devotee, used to go to that temple and offer food. So one day, father had to go somewhere else on business, and he was about to leave the house. He said to this young child, Namadeva, "My child, give the offering to the deity today. See that God is fed." The boy took the food all made ready by the mother. With great care, he took it to the temple, kept it in front of Vithala, that is Lord Krishna. The boy offered the food in the shrine. But to his surprise, the image remained silent on the altar. It would neither talk nor eat. The boy waited for a long time. He had so much faith in the words of the father that you have to feed Lord Krishna, Vithala. So he was thinking all through that the Lord will come and take the food from his hands or that plate which he had offered. It would neither talk nor eat. The boy waited a long time, but still the image did not move. But the boy firmly believed that God would come down from his throne, sit on the floor and partake of the food. Again and again he prayed to the deity, saying, "Oh Lord, come down and eat the food. It's already very late. I cannot sit here any longer." But the image did not utter a word. The boy burst into tears and cried, "Oh Lord, my father asked me to feed you. Why don't you come down? Why won't you eat from my hands?" The boy wept for some time with a longing soul. He started even punishing himself, dashing his head against the altar. "Until you come and take the food, I am going to dash my head to the altar." At last, seeing his longing, seeing his faith, the deity, Lord Vithala, Krishna, smilingly came down from the altar and sat before the meal and ate it. So henceforward every day he used to come and eat it. On that day, first day after feeding the deity, the boy came out of the shrine room. Then the relatives said, "The worship is over. Now bring away the offering." "What? What offering?" "Yes," said the boy, "the worship is over, but God has eaten everything." Then the others, the relatives and father couldn't believe it. See, they were feeding, they didn't have the faith that God is eating them. It was only meant for them to eat as prasad. But the boy had so much of faith. He told, "How is that?" He asked the relatives. The boy replied innocently, "Why? God has eaten the food." They entered the shrine and were mesmerized, speechless with wonder to see the deity had really eaten every bit of the offering. So Ramakrishna tells here, this is faith. You should have that childlike faith. Whatever the Guru tells, whatever the scriptures tell, you should have that childlike faith and put it into action. Then comes the doubt which should not come. Now we'll explain about that. Then you might tell, is it not blind faith? Generally the people use the term blind faith, blind belief. So let us take you to another incidents in the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Girish Chandra Ghosh and Narendra were arguing. Ramakrishna had put them to argument. One was arguing for faith, that is Girish Chandra Ghosh was the epitome of faith, and Narendra was arguing with him. No, how can that be? You cannot believe in everything and anything. You should have that reasoning. It should be logical. So if you believe simply, that is blind faith. So in the argument, Girish was about to be defeated. Then immediately Ramakrishna intervened and told, "My dear child, Naren, you use the term blind faith or blind belief. What is meant by blind belief? Do you know what the term you are using? Blind means eyes. They don't have eyes. Faith and belief and love. Where is the eye for it? Does belief has eyes? Does faith has eyes? What is meant by faith? What is meant by belief? What is meant by love?" So love, faith and belief, they can't see. They just act. They believe, they have faith. So blind faith is always blind. Belief is always blind. Love is always blind. So what is the term? You don't mean what you by telling by blind belief, blind faith. It doesn't carry, it is a paradox. Faith is always blind. Where is the eyes for the faith? Where is the eyes for the love? Where is the eyes for the belief or faith? It is always blind. So see now, could you catch this argument put by Ramakrishna to Narendra? Narendra was defeated. Until then, he was using the term blind faith, blind belief. It is a paradox. How can faith have eyes? Faith and love and belief are always blind. What is meant by belief? What is meant by faith? You just believe when your mother tells, "Is your brother?" He believes it, that's all. So I will take you through one story, another story to make you understand. There was this Kumarila Bhatta, who was the great proponent of Purva, Veda Purva, that is Mimamsa Shastra. Veda Uttara or Vedanta is the Upanishads. But there are people who believe in Vedas, Veda Purva. So that Mimamsakas, Karmatus. So this Kumarila Bhatta was that a great proponent, a great guru in that field, Mimamsa. His disciple was the great person who became afterwards one of the Shankaracharya, became the disciple of Shankaracharya. And he also headed the Sringeri Matha. Before that, he was the son-in-law of this great and also disciple of this Kumarila Bhatta. So Ubhaya Bharati was the daughter and he had married. She was also great lady of knowledge and she was considered to be the avatar of Saraswati, Sharada. Now, this Kumarila Bhatta, at that time the Buddhists had conquered the whole of India and almost Hinduism was wiped out. Rather, in the sense, Buddhism is also Hinduism, a rebel child of Hinduism. Here Hinduism is the Vedic religion. Was almost gone to 15% or 20%. Whole of India almost even outside the India there was Buddhism spread everywhere. So now he wanted to bring back this Vedic religion back, Kumarila Bhatta. So he disguised himself as if he has converted into Buddhism and went to study the secrets of Buddhistic teachings. So he stayed in their monastery, which was in a cave in the mountains, and learnt all the secrets. Finally, when he had learnt all the secret, he wanted to come back and then argue and deceive. So defeat them in the argument and bring back the Vedic religion again. So the Guru and the disciples came to know that he was in disguise who had come to learn all the secrets. So the Guru, their Buddhistic Guru, ordered his disciples to catch hold of him and throw him from the cliffs of the mountain and kill him. So he was taken and he was thrown from the top of the mountain. Below it was all stones and stones. So if he falls down, death is sure. So when he was thrown up, when he was falling down, he shouted. He started shouting, "If Vedas are true, nothing should happen to me. I should not die." So he fell down and nothing happened. He didn't die. But because he was thrown from such a height, one of the eyes got hurt and he lost one of the eye. He had only one eye now. So he had only one eye was lost. And after that he was a little upset and he told, "Why, I had so much of faith in Vedas. Why did my one of the sight go away? Why did I lose one of the sight?" Then the Asharira Vani told him. A voice without form told him, "Kumarila Bhatta, you didn't have full faith in the Vedas. Whatever was your utterance, if, say the word, if the Vedas are true, nothing is going to happen. That is, you don't have full faith. If you had 100% faith, what would you have told? Vedas are true, nothing is going to happen to me. Then nothing would have happened. So you didn't have full faith if the Vedas are true. So now you have come to know another higher aspect of the faith through that story. Now we shall go to some more examples by Ramakrishna to understand this wonderful concept called Shraddha. So now, Ramakrishna was explaining to some of the devotees. There was one Ramachandra Datta, relative of Narendra and Gopala, and other devotees were there. Master should be there because it is recorded in Gospel. So now Master Ramakrishna says one becomes a Kutichaka after being a Bahudaka. So the sadhu or any devotee who visits many holy places is called a Bahudaka. Bahu means many. Udaka means water. He drinks water of different places, so it's called Bahudaka. So after going around so many pilgrimages and drinking so many waters, he is a Bahudaka. He visits holy places. He whose craving for travel has been satiated after traveling so much, and then who sits down in one place is called a Kutichaka. So Kutira, Kutichaka. He now doesn't go here and there. Establishes a Kutira and stays in one place and does the sadhana. So it's called a Kutichaka. Bahudaka means he goes on to many pilgrimages, trying to see God and doing sadhana there, here and there, so many other places. Now explaining about this Bahudaka and Kutichaka, Ramakrishna then gave one of the parables. What was that parable? Once a bird sat on the mast of a ship. In olden days, ship had these sails, big poles would be there, and the thick cloth or something like a skin or something would be tied, so that sails would catch the winds and the ship would move, because there was no motorized boat or steam engine or the diesel engine like now. So it was all moved by the sails. That big cloth, it would catch the wind and it would be held in such a way that even the opposing wind will be made to help the ship go in whatever direction they wanted. Because oaring was almost impossible in the seas. Oaring was also done, but to row the boat, such a big boat, how can you do that? Hundreds of people, even you sit and row, it will be difficult. So rowing was also there, but most important was the sails. So there would be the mast. So now, once a bird sat on the mast of the ship, when the ship sailed through the mouth of the Ganga into the black waters of the ocean. Now the bird was sleeping. The bird failed to notice the fact that the ship is moving. When it finally became aware or opened its eyes, came out of the sleep, now it saw that it was ocean and ocean everywhere. It had already come to the Black Seas. What is meant by Black Seas? Everywhere it is just sea and sea. 360 degrees you see only sea, no land at all. So that is called Black Sea. So it has come to the deep sea. Now it was afraid, oh, I've left my house back. So it started flying. It left the mast and flew in north direction in the search of the land. But it found no limit to the water and so returned back. After resting a while, again on the ship, on the mast of the ship, it flew to the south. Same, it didn't find any land. There too it found no limit to the water. Panting for breath, the bird returned to the mast again to the ship. Otherwise, it will lose even the ship and it will die. Again, after resting a while, it flew to east and the west and all the direction. Then, even after all the attempt, finding no limit to the water in any direction, at last the bird settled down on the mast of the ship. One fine day, the ship returned back to the land and it was so happy it went to its house back. So telling this story, Ramakrishna tells, tiring the wings. Whatever sadhanas we do, whatever meditation, going to pilgrimages, puja, worship, homa, havan, meditation, everything is nothing but tiring of our wings. Just like that bird went to north, went to west, went to east. So tiring of the wings. So when we tire our wings, do all the sadhanas, when we come to know that you cannot get the result, you cannot get the land, likewise you cannot realize God, then you get 100% faith in the grace of God. Then you surrender to the feet of the Lord. Once you get that faith, complete faith in God, after doing sadhana, you will come to know, after putting in the self-effort, you will come to know that through self-effort, you cannot realize God. That is tiring of the wings. Then only after you do the sadhana, intense sadhana, when you come to know that you cannot realize God by your self-effort, then only real surrender will come, sharanagati will come. Before that you may be telling so many 100 times that you are sharanagata, sharanagati, but it is of no use. So after the sadhana, you will come to know that you cannot realize God by your self-effort. Then you will get that intense faith in the grace of God. You surrender, that is true surrender. Then God realization comes to you out of His grace. So you can get grace that is also told in the Upanishad. The grace of the Atman. So without that you cannot get it. So only by grace. So for that you understand that you have to tire the wings. So going to so many pilgrimages, doing all the sadhana, there is all the tiring the wings. The more sadhana you do, the more you get the faith. So you have to exhaust all your self-effort. So now you understood another aspect of the faith, isn't it? So we are gradually inching towards understanding the faith, gradually, step by step. Because there are so many aspects of it. You can't just understand it at a go, instantly, with putting on the switch or something like that. You have to do the sadhana, you have to understand, then only you will come to understand. That's why I'm taking so much of time. Because I couldn't understand in the beginning what is faith. Why Ramakrishna is telling so many times, more than 225 times he has told in the gospel about faith. More than 225 times, faith, shraddha, belief, more than 225. So I couldn't understand what is this shraddha. In the Kathopanishad, Nachiketa, shraddha, avivesha, he got shraddha. I couldn't understand. And after so many years, so from the beginning, when I started reading the gospel or entering the spiritual life in 1988 or 87, or even before that, I couldn't understand what this faith was completely. Then finally, in 1998, after my sannyasa, I had gone to the Kumbh Mela. There was this big Kumbh Mela in Haridwar. So I had gone to that Kumbh Mela in Haridwar. So me and another Swamiji from Bangalore, we had gone after our sannyasa. We had finished sannyasa. It is Arun Maharaj, Atmananda. Now he is the head of Chandigarh Center. Now he is posted to Brazil, Sao Paulo. So while going there, with great difficulty, after going to that Harki Paudi in Haridwar, so with great procession, we had to go with our that akhada. Different akhadas will be there. So which we belong, the Puri Sampradaya, with that akhada in the procession with great difficulty, so much of rush, policemen, millions and millions of people somehow reached that in the procession. Then we took the bath with great difficulty and then came out of that Harki Paudi. So during that Kumbh Mela, during that auspicious period when you take bath, all your sins will go away. So now finishing that, we came back. I was so happy. Then after that, next day we went to nearby. We have the two big hillocks, Chandi Pahad and Manasa Pahad. So we had gone to that Manasa Pahad. So Manasa Devi temple is there on the top. A little away we have the Chandi Pahad, that is far away. But from this Manasa Pahad we can see all the Harki Paudi and people taking bath and all beautiful scene is there from the height. So we climbed up. Another Swamiji and me went there. It had taken sannyas with us, our batch, Ram Maharaj. Then we went up, sat on the hillock there on Manasa Pahad after visiting the temple, and we're seeing with joy. We have already taken bath and I was so happy. Then suddenly few young boys came. They started coming and talking, asking questions. So they were youths. Naturally I was interested. Then I was answering their questions. So they told, Swamiji seems to be educated. So we have to ask some questions. We are youths. Okay, please ask. There were 6 or 7 boys, young boys. 2 were from the northeast, by their appearances I could see. Few were from Tamil Nadu, from Orissa and other parts. 6 or 7 youths were there. They were constantly questioning me. They asked the question, the water there, millions of people are taking bath. You too might have done that. It is nothing but it is water. What is the combination? It's the molecule of H2O, hydrogen and oxygen. So it is just a molecule of water, H2O. Hydrogen is 2 and oxygen is 1. So 1 atom of oxygen and 2 atoms of hydrogen, they join together and there is a bonding and we get a molecule called water, H2O. So simply because in that chemical you go and dip, you take bath, how can the sins committed in so many lives or in this life, just by taking a dubki, drowning inside the water called H2O, how can your sins go away? Yes, he left the worm of doubt into my head. Until then I was so happy. After the bath, now the worm of doubt went into my ears and now it started revolving and creating havoc inside. Yes, but I started arguing with them, telling that it's a matter of faith, that and that. So whatever might be that, then I came to know there was one European missionary, Christian missionary, who had converted these youths into Christianity and come to Haridwar during the Kumbh Mela, that too at the Manasa Pahad, to convert people. He was that Western European missionary. So he had converted all the 6 or 7 youths from different states and bought them. He would not come directly, he would send these youths so that he will not be in problem. So to ask and argue and then try to convert them, create doubts in them and convert them. So then he told, then what is the thing if you don't get sin? They told, Jesus Christ is God who will take away your sins. So you come, you get converted to Christianity, he has promised that your sins will be taken. and you will be redeemed. So you get converted. Then I too started talking because I knew some aspect of Christianity. I spoke about you have so many divisions, the Protestants, the Catholics, you fight each other. Then there are so many other groups, the Methodists, and the countries are fighting. Ireland is fighting with British, Irish armies there in the name of Christianity and Christ. Why don't you give them faith? Have you realized God? Have you realized Jesus Christ? Has Jesus Christ promised you that he will be taking your sin? Have you seen Jesus Christ? So all that questions I could win in the argument. They couldn't argue anymore. And they were defeated in the argument because I knew little about Christianity, so I could argue nicely. And they were defeated. Now, when they were going down in the argument, it was becoming heated and heated. They started becoming a little rough because now they are losing. So now the missionary, the European missionary, seeing that, he thought, now it will go out of hand. He called them, come away. Then they gave some address central. If you want to give up your sins, if you just go and put dubki or drown in the water, your sins will not be there. Come and get converted, then we will remove your sins. They gave some address and went away. Okay, they went away. I defeated them in the argument, but they left that worm of doubt into my head. All my taking so much of difficulty coming from Bangalore to Delhi, so much of in the train, in that hot weather, then with great difficulty going in the procession and taking the bath there, all this gone, doubt has come into the mind. So with that doubtful mind, from there we went to other places in Himalayas. We went to Mayavati. So we traveled there. I stayed in Mayavati for 7 days, going about to Shamlatal and other places. So while in Mayavati, because lot of sadhus were coming because of the Haridwar Kumbh Mela, so there were no rooms at that time. So many sadhus are visiting. So we were put in a library, old library. So they had put beds and cots because it was very cold. Minus, it would go to minus. So we were put in there in the cot and bed and blanket were given. No other heating equipment or anything because there was little electricity, but all that facilities were not there. It was in 1998. So I was staying in that library. So with that doubtful mind, now disturbed mind, started going. That was library. So I started seeing some of the books. The Prabuddha Bharata, the first edition I took. The first edition of Prabuddha Bharata. They were all the yearly edition from the first to that 1 year that packed in one book. So all the edition were there in that first one. And like that every year they had made one book of the Prabuddha Bharata. I took that first edition. About 12 or something of Prabuddha Bharata were there. So the first beginning of Prabuddha Bharata were all written by direct disciples. Swami Vivekananda started it, and many articles and other things were written by the direct disciples themselves. They were handling that. Trigunathitanandaji Maharaj, Shardanandaji Maharaj, and so many other great stalwarts, realized souls, direct disciples were handling. So I just thought, let me read it, what would be the speciality. And I just took, because in that disturbed state of mind, my faith is disturbed. So I just randomly opened a page. To my surprise, I saw one story. What is that story? In that story, Kumbh Mela is happening in Haridwar. It is the story of the Kumbh Mela. And Kumbh Mela is happening there in Haridwar. And lot of people lakhs and lakhs of people have gathered to have the bath and get purified. And now Shiva and Parvati are going on Nandi above in the Antariksha, and they are watching. Mother Parvati is telling Shiva, I am so happy that so many millions of people are taking bath during that auspicious period of Kumbh Mela, and they will be all redeemed from the sins. Then Lord Shiva replied, no, all of them will not. How is that? Then are the words of the scriptures untrue? No. That is also true. This is also true that all of them will not be redeemed of their sins. Then can you explain it, Parameshwara? Then Shiva told, okay, if I just tell you, you may not understand it. Let us enact a play, a project work, enact a play, and you will come to understand. Yes, what should I do? You take the guise of a young beautiful wife of a leper, and I will take the disguise of a leprosy patient, old leprosy patient. You be my young wife, healthy, beautiful wife. Shiva will take the role of a leprosy patient. So we will go to that Kumbh Mela and we will enact this play and you will come to me. Okay, as you tell, Lord. They went. So now they were walking with great difficulty, this young wife in the guise of that Parvati, taking this her old leprosy patient husband to the Ganga in that great rush to give him a bath. Then suddenly, even before going to that river, that leprosy patient fell down and died. Then she started wailing, oh, I had bought him so that he would take. My Guru had told that if he takes bath in Ganga during this period, all the sins will be gone. And now I have bought him and he couldn't do it. He's died here. What to do? When she was crying, all the people who were coming there, they felt pity for this young wife. And the old leper, the husband has died. So they were all feeling pity. They came to help. How can we help? So my Guru has told, if even the dead body is taken and given a bath, he will be redeemed of the sins. Okay, then we will help you, that dead body, to take and give the bath. Come, let us. No, 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 no. My Guru has told another condition. Only those people who do not have any trace of sin. There should be not even 0.1% sin. Completely punya only, no sin. Only such person, if they touch the body of my husband, take it and give the bath, then only he will be redeemed of sin. Then all would come to help. When she put that condition that there should be no sin in you, then all go back. So that auspicious time is over. So many days have passed. All are coming to help her because of her wailing. But when the condition is put, there should be no sin, trace of sin, then all people will go back. No, we have a lot of sin. We have committed sin. They go back. And it happened. It was just the last day. Mauni Amavasya or something is going to happen now. After that, Kumbh Mela is over. That was the last auspicious day. And the hour, maybe in another 1 hour, everything is over. So she was crying. Parvati was understanding, Guru. So many people are coming. Nobody could help. Shiva in the dead body, there is a leper dead body, is also seeing and laughing. Inside, not outside. Then finally, one person came. He was looking very rough. He looking like a person who has committed a lot of sin. Ruffian. He looks like a ruffian. Very rude, very this thing. He came there to have a bath. Then he heard the mother crying. What has happened to you, mother? Why are you crying? All that narrated. Then he wanted, I will help you. Take this body. Come, I alone, I am very strong. Then I will take the body there and help you to get bath to him. Then she put the condition, no, my Guru has told there should be not even a trace of sin. Is it, mother? Wait for a minute. Wait for a second. He ran, dipped, went to the Ganga, Harki dipped there in the Ganga, and he came out. I am now bereft of sin. No sin. Now I can help you. I will take that body. He came to take it. Then immediately Shiva and Parvati gave the darshan and told. Shiva told, this is the only person in all these millions and people, they had come, they didn't have faith. That if you take bath in this Ganga during that period, your sin will vanish. Here is the person, only one person who had that faith. When that condition was put, he ran, took bath and he told, now my sin is gone. I am pure. Then he came here. And Shiva Parvati blessed him. You are the only person who are going to get redeem yourself of sin. So that was the story. I got it. To my great, it was a miracle. I just opened that book and I got this story. And I got the solution. Then I left Mayavati there. I left the other Swamis who were with them. I ran back again to Haridwar with redoubled faith. I could understand what is faith now. To some extent, not fully. I ran back from Mayavati to Haridwar. Again went in that queue with great difficulty. With redoubled faith, I went and took bath. Then I felt happy. So then I didn't have the faith. Now I had maybe little less faith, now more faith. It is not still complete. We have to gain more and more faith should come. So it is just going from higher level to lower. It is a difference in degrees. So then I could understand somewhat a little bit of what faith is. Then only I coined that word. faith is belief in action. I got that revelation. Faith is belief in action. Act. You should express it in your life when you have the words of the Guru and words of the scriptures. Whatever you hear, good things, put it into practice. Then only that is Shraddha. So by that story, I could get that Shiva Parvati story. Exactly when I opened that book, some old this thing, I got the story of the Kumbh Mela, I got the story of the faith, and I got that answer to the faith and ran and had it. But still, I'm getting newer and newer meaning. I'm sharing with others so that others also enjoy this and get that faith. I've completed my time. I think in the next class, because I can talk about faith, still so many things are there to be told. I can take up another 4 or 5 class, but I can't do that. Next time we will go to I'll stop my discussion of the faith here. So any other occasion comes, I'll continue with that and tell about the faith, but now we'll go to the next verse in the next class. This is the 25th verse, 26th verse. We'll take up that Samadhana, another great treasure after Shraddha. That Shamadhi Shatka Sampatti, Shamadama Uparati Titiksha, Shraddha, then Samadhana, Santosha. So that we'll take up next time. If you have any questions, if you have any doubts of what we have discussed today, we will go to the live chat question there. Please. Ranadir, can you open that? Yeah. I want to see, I'm just watching it still. I've not finished it. I'm watching if there are any questions. Please go back to that live chat. Ranadir, can you take me to that live chat? I have not completed. There are some comments there. I'm watching it. Yeah, there are no questions or doubts. It is only some few comments. So we can conclude today's Vivekachudamani class with the prayer. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Thank you. Namaste. Tomorrow is Wednesday. We have the discussion on Bhagavad Gita, the 3rd chapter, Karma Yoga.